In this video, I will be making this Christmas tree entirely from reclaimed pallet slat. This is what it'll look like when it's finished. So let's roll my intro VT and then I'll show you how I made it. We start with Bailey Dog near beautiful Castle Combe. He's found this lovely straight hazel stick which will be absolutely perfect to act as the spindle to a Christmas tree. Next is pallet busting, but you've probably seen plenty of pallet busting videos already, so rather than show you how I pallet bust, this is Captain Nibbles getting involved in woodworking by stealing my finished product. Bailey Boy is nearly always involved in my woodworking programs, but if you prefer just to watch him and not me, HeyBales854 is his YouTube handle, or just search dog with a yellow hoop and you'll find his channel quite quickly. Once the pallet slats are removed, it's on to denailing the slats. Now, the purchase of a lump hammer and the Gorilla Roughneck pallet buster was a game changer for me. I choose to run each side through a planer thicknesser, and as it happens, this is the last time I'll use my DeWalt DW733 planer. It shit itself shortly after this video, and DeWalt customer service was... Hey ho, my love of all things yellow may not be a lifelong love affair after all. I cut a straight edge on one side of every pallet slat using my trusty circular saw. Now, the big Aussie fella, you know who I mean, he uses his table saw and a choice of jigs, but I've yet to fall in love with my table saw, so this is my preferred method, the circular saw. But once we have one straight edge, we can get another. Time to start the love affair with the XL table saw. There are 63 slats to this tree, although the top 6 are actually offcuts of the lower ones. You'll see what I mean by that as we go through this process. Time for the arty-farty video of laying out the slats on the workbench, or in my case the old kitchen table. I've yet to make a workbench. Overlap that lovely piece of hazel, and once we've found the middle of the slats, we can get a straight edge piece of metal to mark out a centre line. In this video, it's not just any piece of straight edge metal. It's a Marks and Spencer straight edge metal thing. Now we take each slat, in my case 57 at this stage, and we drill a hole in the exact middle. I'm using a Clark drill press that my son found when he was doing a garage clear out for a little old lady. It must have been made in probably 1547. It doesn't have a depth gauge, it doesn't have a laser cross target, and the base plate is really hard to organise pieces of wood on. However, once you've done that, it does do the job really, really well. You could use a spade bit here or a Forstner bit in a power drill if you don't have a drill press. Right, this was the first bit of funny shenanigans for me. Run the straight edge Marks and Spencer clothing rack straight metal edge thing diagonally across the pallet slats. Mark with a mechanical pencil. Important because that way you look better than the below average garage based weekend warrior woodworker that you really are. And then attack with a circular saw fitted with a blade half the depth of that required and a battery with 10% of the power that you need. Finish off with a handsaw, but cut the wrong way round so that you don't block the camera for the YouTube audience. It's so much harder. Right, on to the second edge now, and I've learned that using 2 clamps, cutting with a handsaw the correct way and putting a full powered battery makes it a lot easier. Education is a wonderful thing, sadly neglected on me at times. Now I did keep the offcuts, so at least bear that in mind when you judge me. I run the belt sander across the flat slats, and as I'm doing so I think it needs to be taller. So I get the offcuts from the offcuts bin and I apply pretty much the same process as earlier, without the flat battery or lack of clamps being an issue this time. And also, I use a 6-year-old schoolboy ruler to make myself look even more amateur. Here's a beginner's top tip coming up here. A cheeky little hack when cutting multiple planks. Yellow tape. Everyone else uses blue painter's tape, but I only have yellow tape, and yellow tape worked just fine by me. Cut the edges, drill the holes, add to the top, Lovely. Right, we are getting close to the end now. Drill a hole in the hazel and put in a dowel. This will stop all the slats falling to the ground. Now, some of you may want the slats starting at the ground level, so you can ignore this part, but this is going outside in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and that means groundwater will soak into the pallet slats, and I don't want that. At the top end, I do the same and mark the top in case the wind catches the top slats and blows them all away, and I'll put a vertical dowel in as well, because we're going to make a star. Lovely. Right, we find a star image on the old Tinternet, we print it, we stick it to the wood, yellow tape obviously, and then we use a centre punch to mark out where we're going to go, colour it in, cut with a jigsaw, bish bash bosh, easy, but time consuming. It is time consuming, and this is actually the third star that I made. The other two I used old wet wood, which broke immediately when I was sanding it. Drill a hole at the bottom of the star, add to the tree. Right, time to pack the tree away. I've batched them up again using yellow tape, because that's all I've got, and it will make it easier to unwrap them and erect the tree in the correct order at the other end. I also made these two little fellas to sit at the base of the tree. Silver birch and holly. No, that's not their names, that's what they're made of, silver birch and holly. You probably knew that. 2 IKEA bags of pallet slats are really, really heavy, but I want you all to know I have suffered so that you lot can benefit from this video. Now, the tree can be kept as a triangle, or the slats can be spread and concertinaed to create a pretty looking effect. And that's it, it's all done. Thanks for watching, by the way. Subscribe if you want to see more, change the bell notification, and you'll be the first one to know when I've made more stuff for you to watch.
Lovely. Hope you've enjoyed. See you again.